the saddest day of our lives.
Up next on The Bottom Line, Congressman Jamie Raskin opens up about the importance of asking for help during these trying times.
That's not a shame or a stigma. It's a reality.
Ever wonder what it's like to be a firefighter for a day? Recently, several council members had the chance to find out.
Wow, it was disorienting, it was challenging.
And meet Vicky. Montgomery County's first pink fire truck is officially unveiled as we kick off Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
I lost 3 of my sisters to breast cancer. One thing led to another, and I said, let's do something positive with this.
Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Susan Kennedy. Recently, Montgomery County nonprofit Caring Matters held its annual gala. As part of the celebration, Councilmember Craig Rice and Congressman Jamie Raskin talked about becoming grief aware and the importance of county nonprofits in providing support. On New Year's Eve 2020, Congressman Jamie Raskin lost his beloved son, Tommy. Tommy Raskin was just 25 years old, and in his short life, he accomplished a great deal. He was a graduate of Amherst College, an animal rights activist, and a law student at Harvard. But despite the accolades, Tommy Raskin could not overcome his battle with depression.
The note that he left us said, "Please forgive me my illness one today. Look after each other, the animals, and the global poor for me. All my love, Tommy."
The saddest day of our lives.
Congressman Raskin's openness about his son Tommy's struggles has helped to destigmatize talking about mental health.
We don't want to lose anybody else. We want to make sure we're investing the resources of the country to deal with it. So one day there'll be a year where nobody loses their life because of depression.
You know, we were in profound grief, and we wanted to make sure that we don't lose anybody else. And so we thought we had the opportunity to talk about Tommy because he was such an incredible young man, and he was very successful academically, and he was creative artistically and musically and so on. But he suffered from depression, and that's not a shame or a stigma. It's a reality, and we've got to deal with it with everybody who's going through it.
The COVID-19 pandemic has been tough on the global psyche. Our lives are not necessarily structured around the possibility of experiencing great loss. When the pandemic began, Caring Matters transitioned its support groups to weekly Zoom meetings.
Guys, to say the name of the person that you lost, and we will light the candle inside your luminary, and we'll put it in the creek here and let it flow around the corner, okay?
And its programs for grieving children and families, including Camp Aaron and the Good Grief Club, were delivered online.
You know, this is why I also love Caring Matters, because it puts it front and center. That's why it's great that, you know, there are not-for-profit groups that fill in and say, you know, we're going to put this on a human time scale. You know, it takes people months and months sometimes to even talk about it, to be able to articulate their feelings, to be able to sort through everything that they're going through. I mean, these are, you know, wrenching losses that people suffer.
Councilmember Craig Rice is a member of the Caring Matters Board of Directors. He, too, has suffered very public losses with the 1993 murders of his Aunt Mildred and young cousin Trevor Horn, and in 2019 with the passing of his longtime mentor, Steve Goldstein.
I think that, again, surrounding yourself with people who've experienced it is incredibly powerful. And that's why organizations like Caring Matters and other nonprofits like the Congressman mentioned are incredibly important, because it makes you feel as though you're not alone.
Both the congressman and council member believe strongly that organizations like Caring Matters are key in guiding people through whatever journey awaits them, so that no one has to deal with their suffering in isolation.
We have to be strong in the sense that we know that there's nothing weak about grieving. There's nothing weak about being sad. There's nothing weak about showing your emotion. And especially in an office like we're in, especially for Congressman Raskin, who's at the forefront of the national media, to be able to show that that grief is okay, that that caring is okay, to cry is okay, to be sad is okay, is incredibly powerful, and it's uplifting to all the other folks who are experiencing grief in our community.
at a certain point, the trauma can be turned into like a bridge to other people. It's in the human condition where all of us are going to be sufferers of grief and trauma, but all of us can also be people who help other people. So I would just say to people going through it, that there are a lot of people who are rooting for you. There are a lot of people who want to connect with you. There are groups here that can help you, and we need you.
Thank you for taking the time today and coming to Fire Ops 101.
Ever wonder what it would be like to be a firefighter for a day? Recently, a few Montgomery County council members decided to give it a shot by taking part in Fire Ops 101 at the Public Safety Training Academy in Gaithersburg.
You're going to experience fire skills, EMS skills, and get that opportunity to see what we do almost 350 times a day, answering the 911 call throughout the community.
This is really a day of experience. It's a day of appreciation, and it's a day that we all should keep in mind whenever we talk about how wonderful our first responders are.
After gearing up, it was time to break into teams and head off to the stations. Councilmember Craig Rice started with climbing a 40-foot ladder.
There you go. Let me unclip you. All right. Strong work.
Thank you, sir.
Then into a pitch-black maze designed to give you the feeling of what it would be like to be in a house fire with no visibility and crawling on your hands and knees to find your way out.
Wow. It was disorienting. It was challenging. It was dark. But it certainly is something where it gives you an idea of what our firefighters have to go through when they're going through a very dark building and trying to navigate their way around, not knowing what is at the next step, what's around the corner. So it really gives you a great understanding of some of the challenges that they face.
After recovery and hydration, it's off to the scene of an accident.
And we're actually going to have you, if you would like, to cut some metal with our tools that we have.
Where participants get to experience using the jaws of life.
Don't try to fight it because this is super strong. You're not going to win.
How first responders safely break glass to get victims who may be trapped.
There you go.
Wow. And learn the proper way to extricate someone from a vehicle who may be trapped or injured. 1, 2, 3. Each year, Montgomery County Fire and Rescue Services handles more than 120,000 emergency calls and is staffed by close to 2,700 certified and trained career and volunteer responders. A good majority of the calls that are received deal with some sort of medical emergency.
You guys are seeing some pretty interesting stuff. We don't do this very much. This we do every single day. Every day. This is 80+% of what we do. There's going to be something in this incident that's going to remind you of something that's personal. So you're not going to just walk away from this. This is going to carry on with you for the rest of the day.
And the day wouldn't be complete without an actual fire. Participants in the flashover simulator put on the tanks and use the self-contained breathing apparatus while experiencing real fire conditions, including intense heat and thick smoke.
A flashover is probably the apex of danger. I don't even know how else to put it. If I were in a room that were on fire, I would be at this level. Well, today you're 3 feet below that level. So it kind of gives you the opportunity to look up into a live fire environment.
I never realized it was that fast.
A career as a firefighter tests you every day. It's demanding in physical work, and firefighters must be able to make good decisions and communicate effectively. Fire Ops 101 is just a glimpse of what it takes, but participants definitely walked away with a renewed sense of gratitude for these everyday heroes.
It was great, really awesome learning experience, and just gives you a newfound appreciation just to see a small glimpse. I mean, we were only in a couple hundred degrees. I think an average house fire is 800 to 1,000. degrees, 4 or 5 times what we were in, and they train even hotter than that. And we were only in there for one session for about 10 minutes. They do many sessions a day for 20 just to train. That doesn't even include when they're actually going out and putting themselves at risk on a daily basis. So make sure you thank your firefighters and first responders next time you see them.
That was a really powerful experience. So it just gives you a deep appreciation for the sacrifices that the men and women of our fire and rescue squad make every day, and how complicated it is to respond to all of the various calls they have to respond to. They have to be prepared for literally everything. And thank goodness they are, because it helps keep us all safe, and I'm going to sleep a little bit better tonight knowing they're doing what they're doing.
Thank you for being here. I'm Shannon Moneymaker. I am the Executive Director of 4-3 Sisters. It is a beautiful morning, and I don't think we could have asked for a more perfect day to celebrate and unveil Vicky, our pink fire engine.
I'm Marshall Moneymaker, aka the Pink Fireman, for those who don't know. While I was a career firefighter in Montgomery County, I lost 3 of my sisters to breast cancer. Vicky in 2008, Penny and Valessa in 2010. So that's 3 sisters, 2 years apart. You know, I isolated myself. I was depressed. One thing led to another, and I said, let's do something positive with this. Reached out to Fire Chief Goldstein and asked if I could get a donation of a fire truck. Not only did I get a fire truck from Montgomery County, I got the fire engine that I was stationed with.
Yes, ma'am.
The ability for us to help a friend, a coworker, years ago, years since, and years to come, just makes it so important and special.
It's a special story with even a more special story in it.
So this is a wet down ceremony. It started with the Navy. When officers get promoted, they generally get wet down. The fire department has adopted that ceremony. When you get a new piece and it gets put in service, the community comes together and performs a wet down. Fire Chief Goldstein of Montgomery County Fire and Rescue is going to wet Vicky down, sort of a passing the torch, so to speak, to us, and then she will officially become ours.
I would love if anybody wanted to come up here just for a minute and introduce yourself, and then let us know, what does she mean to you when you see her?
I'm a 2-time breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
I'm grateful for what the Moneymakers have done for me. Otherwise, I'd be homeless right now.
Just those little things that you don't think about that 4-3 Sisters does, from paying your rent to getting you groceries.
Dry it off, Kinley, dry it.
I had 4 ladies who never left me, and I guess that's what Vicky means to me.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Get in there.
Me too.
Your sisters would be so proud with everything you've done over the last decade, Marshall. So I'm honored to call you my friend.
I'd like to invite Mr. Craig Wilson, is with Nancy Navarro's office.
She definitely wanted me to stop by and bring this proclamation. She has been a huge supporter of 4-3 Sisters.
These kinds of organizations provide an extraordinary element of support.
Oh, up top? Yeah.
So we have big plans in store for Vicky. She has a huge mission. She's more than just a pretty pink fire truck, right? So we want her to raise awareness. We want people to be excited to see her. We want people to see it and think, oh God, I've got that prescription for my mammogram in my purse.
I will be very honest. This is helping me become involved again. I haven't been involved for 10 years with breast cancer stuff because I've been hit twice. The second time I thought, what's the point? But I'm put on pink today for the first time in 10 years, and I'm ready to get involved in it.
More importantly, we'll be taking her into low-income and under-resourced communities, which are often communities of color. We want to take breast health information to those communities. That the truck is a draw for the community to come see the truck so that we can capture their attention.
Sincerely, great honor and opportunity to be able to do this for you.
Thank you, Chief.
And I'm glad that we were able to help out.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps it up for this edition of The Bottom Line. For County Cable Montgomery, I'm Susan Kennedy.